But today I want to show y'all how I mark up my charts, the session highs and lows, opens and closes, and then how I mark my my support and resistance. So to get straight into it, you can open up your charts, whatever platform you're using. I'm going to start on the weekly chart. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mark out my previous week highs and lows. You'll take your whatever tool that you want to use, a horizontal ray or a horizontal line. I have mine configured to where these are my favorites up here because I use these 4 to 6 pretty often. But the horizontal ray is what I'm gonna be using right now. So this is the previous week. This candle right here is the current week. But I'm gonna go to the previous week, mark the high, change this to previous week. Previous week high. You can copy and see like how I do my text alignment and stuff like that. Color you can choose whatever. If you want it bold or italicized, you can do that too. Whatever floats your boat. All right. I'm gonna mark the previous week low. And it's important to use your little magnet over here, because when you're marking these lines, it's important to use your magnet here because when you're marking your highs and lows, it'll snap right to the high or low. So this is going to be previous week low. Next, I'm gonna go to the daily chart. Same deal. This is the current day's candle because I'm working right before New York session, so this is the current day's candle. This is the previous day candle. Again, I'm gonna go to the top of the wick. I'm going to the top of the wick, the very top of the candle. Previous day high. Previous day low. Oops. Previous day low. Since I got that done, I'd recommend locking these to, especially the weeklies, because that's pretty much not going to change. It's only going to change from week to week. All right, so you can lock it. I lock them so I don't accidentally move them. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work on marking my session highs and lows. You can go to almost any time frame on this. Sometimes I do 15, sometimes I do 5. I'm gonna work on the 5 minute. So depending on your time zone, you absolutely must know your session times. So Asia, London, New York. For me, the day starts Asia session here at 8 a.m. So automatically I'm gonna go back starting at 8 a.m. and between 8 a.m. and 5 a.m. or 5 p.m. that ends that the 5 p.m. marks the London session beginning. So in between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. I'm gonna look for the highest, the tippy top, the highest candle. And it looks like it right here. Yep. So I'm gonna mark this Asia high. And again, I'm gonna do that with the low as well, which looks like it's the low right here. Almost lines up with the previous week low. Asia low. Sorry, y'all. Kids in the background. All right. there are times where the New York session, the previous, like the New York session, is not the previous day high. So, like the previous day's New York session highs and lows do not line up with the previous day highs and lows. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But so, for instance, yesterday's New York high does not line up with it does not line up with the previous day high. So I'm gonna mark up yesterday's New York session high, which is right here. Keep that in mind. And then then I'm gonna do London. So since we are currently in London session, I'm gonna pre-mark. I'm gonna mark what it is right now. Really, I wouldn't be doing London session highs and lows until New York is about to start. We're about an hour and 10 minutes away from New York Open. Anyway, so my London session starts at 5 p.m. So 5 p.m. Excuse me, 5 p.m. Between 5 p.m. and 11 p.m. is my London session. And it looks like the London session high is about right here. And the current London low is right. Huh. Okay. All of these are points of interest. Um, Now, obviously, price may not get to all of these, but if price gets to these areas, these are points of interest where I could be looking for a trade. Now, here's how I do my support and resistance lines. Now, you'll see that just support and resistance lines a lot of times line up with your session highs and lows. So I use the 1 hour chart when I'm doing my highs and lows. All right. So automatically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on like this time frame, like the most recent time frame, and I'm going to mark out like the highest peaks, the obvious peaks, obvious lows, and areas that have been retested multiple times. So for instance, well, let's start with the obvious one right here. So I'm going to start right here. Again, price may not tap up in here at this time, but I like to map it out like that. It's not even close. It was 800 something points off, maybe 700 points off. So I use the rectangle tool with this, and what I do is, so I look at the highest candles, right? I'll start at the body of the candle and take it to the highest wick. That just shows me price got up here and completely reversed. So boom, right? I'll do it from the lowest low. Boom. So I'll also do points where price has retested over and over. So it looks like one right here, once again right here, once again right here, once again right here, and it broke. So I'm gonna start from right here since this is the, yeah, here we go. If I was to play this, I'm looking for this to serve as resistance now, because this was previously serving as support. You see how price kept bouncing off of this, boom, and then it finally broke through. This could be a pretty good resistance area. Okay. So I'm actually going to mark out a few other areas too. I might decide to get rid of these, especially if they've been um, swept already. But just to get you in the groove of things, in the hang of things, swing of things, I'm marking out these two. Actually, I'm gonna use this as just one big. There we go. So yeah, if price if price is below a shaded area, this is resistance. If it's above, it's support. And that's literally how I mark out my lines. Now, there's sometimes, actually a lot of times, most of the time, I do refine these areas. Actually, I'm gonna mark out this zone too. I'll refine some areas. And what I'll do, the lowest time frame I'll go down to is the 15-minute chart. This lets you get a little bit more precise. And it looks like I'm gonna keep this as is right now. Yeah, but that's it. That's literally how I mark out my session highs and lows, and how I mark my support and resistance. Now you'll see that a lot of the highs and lows, they match up with the support and resistance lines that I marked. All right. Um, when you get to a zone, treat it as a zone. All right. You don't want to treat these lines as, all right, once it hits here, it's going to reverse. It can reverse. It can do one or two things in these areas. It can reverse right here, or it can get up here, reverse, or it can reverse all the way up here, or it can reverse up here. It just depends. Just treat this as an area of interest, not a set in stone point for things to happen, right? I see this zone right here that I kind of want to pull down. I think I'll use. No, see, and here's where you got to kind of use your own discretion, because I'm thinking about, since I moved to the 15-minute chart, I seen I can refine it down here a little bit, but price has tapped into this area so many times. I think I'm gonna go back and leave it how it was. All right. So now I'm pretty set for the start of New York session. That's all it is to it, yo. Once price gets to these areas, especially right here, I'll be looking for shorts. Since we are pretty bearish right now. We've been making lower lows. You can clearly see that lower lows. Um, I won't be looking for longs off the rip, but my bias could change. And then the way I form my bias before the market opens is, um, if you can add indicators called it's just called a moving average. Open up a moving average, which I already have one open, but I'll show you. It popped up here. I'm gonna open this one. Open up the settings and change the length to 50. Click OK. Get rid of this one. And on the 1 hour chart, if price is trending below this line, we are in a bear market. Now, sometimes it depends, depending on what time frame you're on. We can be doing something completely different. However, higher time frames mean so much more. But even on the daily time frame, we are below this 50 EMA, which means we're downtrending. So we should really be looking for shorts today. Anything happen though, but that'll be my opening bias. But that's really it, y'all. Um, if you have any questions, you already know. Just hit me up. I'll be trading today in about an hour. So tap in with me. I'll see you next time. Oh, I completely forgot. There's an easier way to mark out your sessions if you don't want to do what I did. Um, and you can open up an indicator on at least on Top Step. It's called Top Step X Sessions. And you turn that on, and it automatically marks out the sessions for you in your time zone, so you don't have to guess. You don't have to go guessing on where these highs and lows are. So take a look at London, just the current London, and it marks out the session high for you. London is indicated by yellow, so look for the yellow dotted line. It marks out the high and the low. Same thing for Asia session. Look for the gray line. This is the default setting too. Gray line high, gray line low. Yesterday's New York session, green high, green low. Super easy. It does make your chart look a little bit more busy, which is why I don't really like this. And then it marks it out for all the previous sessions too, so you can go backwards in time just to mark it out. But you'll see it lines up exactly with what we did already. All right. See you next time.